Hello everybody, welcome to another journal with me video. I'm starting this video slightly differently to usual. Someone mentioned recently in a comment that I never really show the making of my own journals, so I thought I would just show a little bit of that. I'm not showing the full process, like I've already cut down my pages and stitched some pockets and stuff and chosen the cover, so not the full process but just the actual putting together of the journal. But the cover is a large A4 envelope, and then I've stitched a paper on the inside of that, so it's got like a nice something on the inside, and then I've kept the envelope opening open on one side, so there's like a little pocket in the cover. And then here I am just folding all the pages and deciding on the order they're going to go in my journal. The size I've done this one is regular wide, one of my favourite sizes to work with. I think my previous journal was this size as well. It's roughly 8 1/4 by 5 inches, but obviously in a junk journal it's not exactly that because, you know, it doesn't have to be. So all sorts of things. I do go back, I did cut a few too many pages to use, so I do go back and remove some of those. Pages I use, I've got vintage book pages, of course, vintage ledger, vellum, some pretty craft papers, some parchment paper, some conqueror paper, craft brown paper, all sorts of things, some floral papers, of course, because I have to have those. And then there was this one which I wanted as my center page, which I have forgotten to cut down, so I'm just going to use a tearing ruler to cut that down because I was feeling lazy and couldn't be bothered to go to my proper cutter. So I've got those ready to do, but what I decided to do with my cover, with the big envelope, is do a load of collage on it for the cover. I thought that might be something a bit fun, different for a cover. So first off, I'm adding acrylic paint. This is the Dina Wakley acrylic paint. I've got the colours sand, buff and apricot. And as you see, I'm not really doing anything special. I just splooshed some on the page and then wet my brush a little bit, and I'm just mixing the paint kind of straight onto the paper like that. When you see me do the collage on top, you might think, well, what was the point of doing that paint layer underneath? But you can actually kind of see it through the collage in certain places. It also gave the cover a bit more structure, a bit more sturdiness. And then some of the collage I use, I have like a little envelope where I keep scrap pieces of collage paper and napkins and rice paper and stuff. So I went in there first to get some scraps to use up. That napkin is a beautiful vintage napkin, one of the ones I include in my junk journal kits, and I hadn't used it for ages and I really, really like it, so I had to include that. And then also some vintage book paper I thought I would include as well. That one, it's from a really old book that's learning, I don't know if it's Mandarin or Cantonese, but it's obviously old, and in some places it's a bit problematic in the stuff that it says, because you know, but there was one that said about the education of girls in China, and it doesn't really say much, it doesn't say anything problematic on that little paragraph, but I liked the education of girls, so I thought I would have that on my front cover. I am also using some collage paper, the Tim Holtz collage paper. I use multiple packs. I think this one here I'm using is the Journey one with the maps on, but I ended up not really liking them. I found them a bit dark, so I do cover most of that up. I've got a florally one here, and I bring in one that's got text and stuff. I can't remember all the separate names of the Tim Holtz collage papers because I think I have all of them. But yes, pretty florally one to lift up a bit from those darker map pages. And then that still didn't look right to me, so that's I think when I brought in the one that's got like a bit of text and stuff on. I am using the Distress collage medium, the matte collage medium, to collage those on. When the paint was still wet, I didn't bother putting the collage medium underneath the pieces because they'll stick just fine on the paint with collage medium over the top. And yeah, filling in all the gaps. I did bring the paint back in a little bit to add some like little smudgy bits between the collage pieces, help them blend in together a little bit. I did also consider, once it was dry, using some sticky back plastic or contact paper over the top to really like secure the collage, but I think it's okay. Like if it starts to peel away, I'll do something about it, but the collage medium is a fairly strong glue, so I think it will be fine. Here is when I decided the signature I had made of my pages was a little too bulky, so I took out a few bits and pieces, make it a little bit thinner, and then I'm going to bind it into the cover. So I just use a ruler to mark where I'm going to make my holes, and then here, this little contraption is called a bookbinding cradle. I use that and the Tim Holtz pokey tool to make my holes. I always add the holes in the signature first and then add them into the cover. Two reasons. One, it's easier to get the pokey tool through when you don't have the cover there. but also I find it's better to do it that way. It lines up better, like you can really get it in the exact, put the signature in the exact center of the cover. I find personally you get fewer errors that way. And then using bookbinding thread, this is 1mm waxed thread, and I'm just going to do the old figure of 8 stitching. What's it called? Saddle stitch is the official name? I'm not sure. And then, yeah, then it's pretty much done. When I tie the knot in the center, I kind of loop around. You see me do it in a second, like loop around the stitching that's already there. I find it just makes it more secure, and if there's any like a bit of give in your stitching, that tightens it up as well. So I think that's pretty much it for making the journal itself. Just because it was kind of popping open a little bit, I put some heavy clips on it just to kind of encourage it to stay shut, just train it a little bit. And then for my first page I'm going to do in this journal, first page in a journal is always like a bit, oh, I'm going to ruin it. So I tend to do something really simple, just simple decoration, simple journaling, don't overthink it and go straight for it. And I often don't do the first page in the journal either. Like, this is almost the exact middle. I find it really like takes the pressure off of that first page fear, or the blank page fear, or whatever you want to call it. So as I said, simple decoration I'm going to do on this one. I grabbed some really wide washi, tore it in half to put it either side of that page, and then I think I'm going to fill it in with more collage, some more book paper that I'd used on the cover, and add stickers. You saw me going through a little box there, choosing some bits and pieces to use. While I remember, I was supposed to say this at the beginning of the video, if you were watching this video like within a few days of it being published, I have a massive sale going on in my shop because I'm going to have to close my shop for a few weeks. So I have a huge 30% off in my Etsy shop. If you want stickers or journal kits or anything like that, then head on over. It ends on the 31st of January. So yes, while I remember, I thought I would tell you that. The link will obviously be in the description. The discount is automatically applied. You don't need a code or anything. It's just a £4 minimum spend to get the 30% off. So yes, while I remember, I thought I had to tell you that. In case you're wondering about why I'm closing for a few weeks, I will update you on that soon as to why and what's going on. A lot of things happening at the moment. It's all fine. I'm fine. Everyone's fine. But yeah, I'll update you when I can update you on that. Hopefully sooner rather than later. But the couple of weeks may actually turn into like 6 to 7 weeks. So if you've been wondering, like thinking about ordering or anything, and you want to do it now, then do it, because I might be closed for a little bit longer than a couple of weeks. Anyway, enough about that. This is me just putting down the things that I pulled out of that little box. Really pretty vintagey looking things. As I said, first page is in a journal. I'm not overthinking it. I'm making a pretty collage of things and going with the flow. I added those ripped up pieces of printed vellum. I thought they looked really nice, particularly when you've got them over the top of the book page. I tend to use little glue runners when I want to completely stick vellum down and not staple it or turn it into a pocket, which is what I do most of the time with vellum. I tend to use those little glue runner things. I don't find them reliable with many papers and crafts and stuff, but they're fine for vellum, and you can't really see underneath, which is what the key thing is you want when you're sticking down vellum. I added a few of my own Victorian portrait stickers on there, and then some of these little pretty floral ones as well. And then I decided I wanted to add a tip in to add my journaling, and I found this postcard. It's not vintage, it's like faux vintage. I think it's one I had for my shop for my journal kits, but the bottom corner got really crumpled, so I couldn't, obviously sell it, so I kept it for myself. I'm gonna tip it in first with just normal sticky tape, sellotape, just because that is really secure, because sometimes with washi it will start to come off eventually. I've gone through some old journals and had to re-stick stuff down where the washi hasn't been strong enough. So yeah, adding the sticky tape, and then I'm going to put washi tape over that so it's not as ugly to look at the sellotape. It was quite a wide washi that I used for that though, so where I stick it down on this side of the postcard, I decided to rip a bit off. Just, it was covering up too much of the postcard. It looked a bit clunky to me, so I thought ripping that off looked a bit better. And then I simply put the remaining bit of washi on the page, because why not? And then what do I do next? I can't actually remember. Oh, just rounded the corners. Just I thought it looked nicer. And then as well as adding some like personal journaling, I often like to add poetry and stuff into my journal. So I'm taking a strip of onion skin paper here. I bought an onion skin journal from Crafty Ali Creates on Etsy, and she sent a load of like strips like this for pen tests and pen sample type things, which I think is a genius idea. So I added a verse of poetry to that. I've stuck a pretty floral sticker on the bottom where there was still some room, and then stapled it over the top of that page. So you can still very much see the decoration and the collage underneath, but there's that extra layer of added something. Please excuse the back of my head, but here I am adding my journaling on the postcard. I'm one of those people, when I write, I get like really up close to the paper. I probably just should put my glasses on, that would solve the problem, but like my eyelashes are almost touching the page. But anyway, journaling done. There's those pages done. And then the final page I'm going to do is this really simple one. My love for vellum continues. It's a plain vellum page, and I'm going to stick a plain vellum notebook on that plain vellum page. These vellum notebook envelope, that's the word I needed, envelope. Anyway, these vellum envelopes, by the way, they are like stitched with a sewing machine. They are new in my Etsy shop because a lot of people requested them because I use them in other things that I sell in my shop, like the journal index cards and things. They come in a cute little vellum pocket, and quite a few people have asked for them to be in the shop. Anyway, that was really rambly, I'm sorry, but anyway, that's one of those, and I thought it would look pretty if I had stickers behind the vellum envelope. I don't know, I just think it looks really, really nice. All of those stickers are the type of ones that are in some of my junk journal kits and the creative journal kits. I just steal them from shop stock for my own personal use, but I think they are, I don't know, I really like the way this page turned out. I think the green on the vellum looks lovely. I'm really glad I went for the kind of greenery vibe rather than the floral. Something a bit different for me. But as I said, yeah, I really, really like it. Anyway, I stuck down the envelope with some red line tape so it would be less seen through the normal double-sided tape. Then I'm grabbing some more vellum. This is really heavy vellum. It's 150 GSM to do my journaling on. Now, at first I was just going to add a normal piece and then fold it and put it in the envelope. But I wanted to do decorating on my journaling piece as well. So I thought if I fold it, it might mess that up. So instead I'm having like two little journaling pieces, journaling cards, decorating and journaling on them separately, and they can both go in the envelope. So just some scraps of handmade paper and then some pretty stickers from my stash to add onto those. And then I will add a couple of the Tim Holtz clipping stickers to finish off the decoration on each of those pieces. I went for the clipping stickers rather than the normal black or white ones. I thought the tone would go better with the greeny natural colour, and I'm really happy with the way these turned out. I think they are super cute, if I do say so myself. So I'm going to add my journaling onto those two little cards I've created using a Pigma Micron pen. I have found those are the absolute best for writing onto vellum. And when those are done, I'm going to slip them into the envelope and kind of shut the envelope with one of my new wax seal stickers from my Etsy shop. I'm going to do the trick of taking some of the stickiness away by putting the sticker on my skin and just rubbing it a little bit so it's easier to open and close the envelope. Like, it still says shut, but it's still easy to open at the same time. These wax seal stickers, you can either buy them separately or you can get them with the envelope pack, the vellum and book page envelopes that I mentioned earlier. I decided to make my wax seal stickers a little bit different because often you get them like a perfect circle, and I don't know about you, but when I do wax seals they are never a perfect circle, so I made them a little more uneven, like more realistic for stickers. Anyway, that's enough of that, showing you the last pages here, and yeah, that's going to be it from me. Thank you so much for watching. Remember my sale, if you are still in January, all the links will be below, as well as links to other products that I've used, like the collage paper and collage medium and all that kind of thing. I think that's everything I have to say. Please leave me a thumbs up if you've enjoyed. Chat to me down in the comments. I'll update you about the shop closing for a bit when I can, as I said. And yep, that's enough. I'm gonna go. Thank you so much again. Bye bye.